Hello, folks. Look at this scene. It reminds me of when my children were small and guests would come over, and quite often they would bring something, and whoever opened the door, they would give it to the child, that chocolates or whatever. And then, as soon as the guests had gone, there would be a big argument because my little son would say, "It's mine. Uncle gave it to me." And then the others would say, "No, it's not yours. Dada, tell him he's trying to eat the whole chocolate." So this reminds me of the gospel today. And in this story that Jesus told, there was someone who also was like my little son and said, "It's mine." And someone else says, "No, it's not." So let's read the gospel and find out more about it. Gospel from a reading from the Gospel of St. Luke. Jesus said to the disciples, "There was a rich man who had a manager, and charges were brought to him that this man was wasting his possessions. And he called him and said to him, 'What is this that I hear about you? Turn in the account of your management, for you can no longer be my manager.' And the manager said to himself, 'What shall I do, since my master is taking the management away from me? I am not strong enough to dig, and I am ashamed to beg. I have decided what to do, so that when I am removed from management, people may receive me into their houses.' So, summoning his master's debtors one by one, he said to the first, 'How much do you owe my master?' He said, 100 measures of oil. He said to him, 'Take your bill and sit down quickly and write 50. Then he said to another, 'And how much do you owe?' He said, 100 measures of wheat. He said to him, 'Take your bill and write 80. The master commended the dishonest manager for his shrewdness. Then Jesus continued, 'For the sons of this world are more shrewd in their dealings with their own generation than the sons of light. And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it fails, they may receive you into the eternal dwellings. If you have not been faithful in that which is another's, who will give you that which is your own?' The word of the Lord. So let's see if we have understood Jesus' story and what he's trying to say to us. There are 10 points that you can get. You can count and see if you manage to get them all. The first question is, what wrong had the manager done? Why was he called in front of the king? He had wasted his master's things. Give yourself a point if you got that right. Now, what did the master do to him to punish him for wasting his things? He fired him. He took him out of his job as manager. Now, what did he ask the manager to do before he would be fired? Gave him a job. He had to give a full account. That means it's called a statement of accounts. So he had to write all that he had been given and how he had spent it. Now, what did the smart manager do after he had thought about his situation? He realized that he soon will not have anything in his hands. What did he do? He gave away his master's money to the poor, canceled the debts of those who had borrowed things. Now, why did he do that? What was he hoping to gain from that? He did that so that they would welcome him into their houses when he had nothing. Now, a very important question. At the end of the story, what advice did Jesus give to the people who were listening? He said, make something for yourselves by means of dishonest something. Make friends for yourself by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it fails, when the wealth fails, they, that's the friends, may receive you into the eternal dwellings. So this question has 3 points if you got all these words right. Now, why do you think Jesus called wealth dishonest? Does wealth trick us or cheat us or tell lies? What do you think? So, wealth tells us, I'll make you happy forever. And then it doesn't. Because Jesus said, when it fails, that means it is going to fail. Wealth is going to go away at some point. Now, the eternal dwellings that Jesus talks about means heaven. Who will welcome us into heaven? And why? Maybe this other story which Jesus told will help. It's from Matthew 25. The king will say to those on the right on the last day when the king comes, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. And I was in prison and you came to me." So, have you got the answer to our question? Who are those who are going to welcome us into their heavenly home, and why? Jesus is the one who will welcome us for caring for the poor, for caring for others who are in need. Because Jesus feels like when we do something for someone, he takes it for himself. Because for him, the poor are himself. So I wanted to share with you something personal. Last week, a very dear friend of mine, her name is Kiran, she lost her husband to cancer after struggling for a few years. She shared with me her sorrow and her feeling of loss, that he's just not there. But she also had something good to share, and which she told me I could share with you. She said, I was really shocked because many people came to me after Lazarus died and told me stories which I had not heard. Lazarus helped me with buying a flat. He helped me when I was in trouble. A carpenter who was struggling during the pandemic and had gone back to his village called him and said, my family is going hungry. Can you help me? And he told Kiran, Sir spoke to my wife because he knew that I drink. And he told her, buy all that you need every month and I will pay with Google Pay. So my friend Kiran was comforted by all these people's stories. And it made her realize that Lazarus will be welcomed by Jesus into heaven because he was so generous in sharing, even when it was not so easy. And she also knows that God is going to take care of her now that Lazarus is not with her. So, what about us? The rich man had asked his manager to give a full account. And God is going to ask each one of us to give a full account because all that we have is not actually ours, but given to us to use according to God's will. So, are we owners? Are all that we have ours? No, we are only managers. Just like my son, it was not his, it was actually given for the whole family to share with others. So, let's start making our account. That will help us because if at some time we have to make the account, it's better if we check it now. So, what have we received as income? We have to put our income and our expenditure, right? That's how we make a statement. So, what have we received from God to look after for Him? We have time, we have intelligence, talents, health, family, education, property, money, even children. We have some property, right? We have something which we can use, and we can use as we decide. Now, how have we spent all these things? We have to think, have I wasted these things? Have I used them only for myself? Have I spent it for others? Have I used them to serve God? Just think about this. Sit quietly and picture yourself standing in front of Jesus. Talk to Him about your life and ask Him, what would you like me to do with all these things that you have given me to look after? Ask Him to help you to be a good manager. Pause the video and spend a little time with the Lord. Something to do this week: make a statement of accounts for yourself, personal one. And in that, add all the details which I can't write for you, right? Suppose talents: I am good at speaking, I am good at helping, I'm good at cooking. Then every morning, offer all that you have to God. And every evening, check if you have used your things as God has wanted. Ask God. You can either say, sorry, I didn't, or thank you for helping me to use these things well. So, bye from Family Faith Time. God bless you all.